Welcome back to the Dynasty Football. Welcome back to the Dynasty Football Key. Today's guest is Shane is the worst from Dynasty Trades in 5 and Destination Devy. Thanks for hopping on with me, Shane. How's it going?
Good, man. One thing, Destination Devy is now on DD Fantasy.
DD Fantasy. All right. I like the new logo.
Rocking
Awesome.
the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
man.
neck's a little high for me because I kind of like showing off,
Hey.
but it's good. It's good. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. What's up, old Scratch? Thanks for watching. Yeah, we got a jersey giveaway, guys. I've been doing this for this whole month with the expo. I launched it, so subscribe and you'll be entered into a jersey of your choice, whether that's Jalen Hurts or whoever it is, whatever the size. Can't be too small, can't be too big. I got you. So subscribe for that chance to enter a jersey. And today we're talking Dynasty Trades. So we got one right now that we can go ahead and jump into. And this is one of Shane's. All right. So he's got Drake London coming to him, and he's giving away Jackson Smith and Jigba, a 2026 second and a 2026 first. So seems like you got some conviction on London, less so on JSN. But how you feeling about this trade?
I mean, well, we gotta be honest, right? I did give up a little much. Now, part of that is it's a 26 first. So I have 2 years to get that first back, right? 25, 26, or a first back, right? Or at least in reality, I don't have to feel the pain of it for another season. If anyone's ever seen anything I've done where I've talked about Jackson Smith and Jigba, not a giant fan, mostly because Jackson Smith and Jigba had a very bad rookie season. Maybe very bad is a strong word, but his cohorts for his points per game are not good. When you have the production that he had, I should say lack of production. Generally, receivers that produce like that as a rookie do not go on to fantasy success, even first round NFL draft pick wide receivers. Also, I think everyone knows Destination Devy knows they have the Trinity Tracker, which is a tool. It is the everything wide receiver tool. Ray can explain it more eloquently than I can, because I can barely get the word eloquently out. So he definitely could do that better. What's up, Slashy?
Hey, thanks for jumping in. Slashy Roll said he agrees with you. He'd take that London side. And sorry, Shane, to cut you off. I actually got Scott Connor jumping on the show Saturday. So he'll get a chance to drop in and give his thoughts on the Trinity Tracker too, man. So don't feel like it's all on you to break it down for us. Because really, I love how you guys have. I mean, I've been following you for quite some time with your old crew, man. And just love how you talk ball, like just in general. So, I mean, I love the Trades and 5 show. Like, just really get the deep dive. You never know where those episodes are going to go, but you get a chance to just think and talk from different angles about all the players. So, yeah. Man, looks like we got a few people on your side for this one. But what else do you think about this one?
Yeah, look, I make bets on players. It's what I do. My thought process is make the bet now, pay high now, so you're not paying higher later. Again, a first, a lot, sure. The second is like window dressing. It's like pushes it over. That's what really did it. So obviously, I like the trade. I made it. He hates JSN. If this is a 10+ starters, got to take the package. It is start 11, but I did have what I call excess wide receivers in that mid-range. And again, I think JSN falls in that range. So I have another dude slides in right behind him. It's like JSN doesn't even, losing him doesn't even matter. It's shooting on the upside on London.
Yeah, man. Like, you can absorb some of that. And, you guys on your show do a good job of also mentioning the team behind it. But if you got a juggernaut and you're just trying to go all in, then go for it, man. And we've seen, I think there's been 0 seasons where Kirk Cousins has not had a wide receiver 1 on his roster. So that's who's it going to be? Is it going to be Darnell Mooney? No, it's not. So yeah, man, I like this for you. So let's roll on to another one here. Oh, it's my bad.
Hey, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, since I skipped ahead. One of my earliest first guests was Dynasty Daddy. He joined the show a few months ago, and at the Fantasy Football Expo, he was actually two booths to my right. So we got to talk again there. Him and his wife, and my fam got to meet. So yeah, cool dude. And yeah, we were talking about how he joined up with you guys over at Destination Devy. He was saying like, the way he's able to uh, the coding behind the scenes. He kind of had a little bit faster of an engine when it came to you guys' war tool, the wins above replacement, and a lot of other cool stuff that you guys are probably working on together behind the scenes. But it's just cool to see that merger come together where you guys are able to just make even more powerful tools, which is crazy. Oh, look, there he is, Dynasty
There he
Daddy.
is.
What's
So
up?
what sucks is I didn't even see him the
Oh
entire
man,
weekend there. And we were literally at the party where I was talking to you for maybe an hour. I think it was like an
yeah.
hour.
I told him he was hiding.
Yeah, I don't know where he was because I was there for three and a half hours, and I didn't see Jeremy once. And we even at one point like DM'd each other on Discord, like, "Bro, I'm over here," and I'm like 30 feet away, and we just never ran into each other.
Yeah, yeah, they were hiding. I'll keep believing that. He said he kept looking for you though. Um, but I pulled this up because on Dynasty Daddy, guys, you can go over there and look at other trades and just see trades that are going on. And I like this one because it shows like more so in the now what's kind of trending. So obviously. One of the reasons I really want to have you on was to talk about the Jahan Dotson trade. So you can see how hey, this is one of the, if not the most traded for player, but his former teammate Terry McLaurin is like the second most traded for player, which makes sense. And since I'm here, I want to ask, how do you feel about that trade? And is this the breakout season for Terry McLaurin that we've been waiting for?
So I hate leaning back on the Trinity tool, right? Because I'm just sound like I'm a shill. I'm just an
No, that's
absolute
why you're
shill.
here. Just,
But
just
yeah, his Trinity score really high. It has been throughout his career. What's been lacking is quarterback play. Now, Jaden Daniels, obviously a rookie. We know that sometimes they don't come in firing. Like they don't just come in, and mostly they don't come in supporting wide receiver ones. But I'd say that based on Terry McLaurin's cost for what you could get him for, probably a second, maybe 2 seconds in a lot of leagues, he's worth the price. He's someone that I think will have finally his breakout season in year 10? No, it's not that far. It's not that late. But I think he'll be a high end wide receiver too, which is replaceable. Let me put that out there. That is replaceable production. But compared to the production that he's put up in the past, it is a vast improvement. And based on his cost, he's a player that I would like to buy. So I love Jaden Daniels there for him. I'm excited for him. I don't know who else they're going to throw the ball to. Um, Luke McCaffrey.
Well, we did get a Noah Brown enters the chat today, and is it crazy to say after a decent season from Noah Brown, the past really 2 years in the two different Texas teams, maybe Noah Brown can be the wide receiver too? I feel like it's crazy to
He's
say
not.
that, but
He's not worse than Jahan Dotson. I will
yeah,
say that he is definitely not worse than Jahan Dotson. He had a nice little run with the Texans. To be honest with you, I was surprised that they cut him. I know they're super deep at wide receiver. When you go Nico, Diggs, and Tank Dell across the top three, yeah. So I think he could put up a nice little season. So as a start 12, start 11, start 12, start 13. Some of us degenerates are in start 13s. I throw Noah Brown in there and start 12 as my last wide receiver. You give me a spike week. But Terry McLaurin, I think obviously this might be a situation where my dude sees a 30% target share. And I don't say that lightly because I know that that's rarefied air. But even with Noah Brown there, Ben Tanat's a rookie. Zach Ertz is not good anymore. Love Zach
yeah,
Ertz, old Philly guy, but he's McLaurin set up for a spot where he could hit a 30% target share, man.
yeah. It was so thin over there that I've been. I went up to Commander's podcast and said Ben Simmons might be a top 10 tight end. Now, I got a lot of pushback because there are a lot of Zach Ertz believers still, and we'll see because the season's right around the corner, man. But I was just worried about the depth, and that was before the Jahan Dotson situation. Is because Dotson hadn't done anything, so I felt like there was a hole. But yeah, man. yeah, let's see if we can get some trades going for McLaurin. I don't know if his price is going to start climbing too high. I wouldn't be giving a first or anything like that. There's just a lot of
No.
receivers I like. So, yeah,
Yeah,
guys, and we got. Oh, go ahead.
he is in a tier with a ton of other guys, right? So it's just I don't care which one I get, whichever is the cheapest. That's you know what I mean. I'm pretty player agnostic that way. So whichever player I can get in the McLaurin tier at the cheapest price is the one that I like. I don't really care about names, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And shoot, we could take this question from Slashy here. So he said, any creative ideas on how to get Keon Coleman, how to get off of Keon Coleman? I've tried swapping him for basically every other wide receiver in that tier already. Um, so I mean, you probably paid a second for Keon
I mean,
Coleman, so 2 seconds at a
yeah,
minimum, probably. Otherwise, it's probably insane to do it this early.
yeah. I wonder why he's so adamant on moving out on him at this point. You invested a second on it. I'm guessing you didn't invest a first, but you invested a second.
If he does
Nothing in
anything,
camp. Yeah, if he does anything, he's likely going to spike. Now, obviously, if he goes out there and scores 8 points a game, his value is going to tank. But with guys like him, generally, I try to take two of those types of dudes, Keon Coleman and someone else in that tier, and see if I can use them to move up a wide receiver tier. That's usually my first move, is just like going, how can I consolidate this, or what can I add to Keon Coleman to move up? I do like the idea of just swapping for another player that you like in that tier, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like anyone wants to do that. He could try something like Keon Coleman for Javon Polk and a piece, but I don't know if his league mate, whoever owns Javon Polk, will think that they're in the same tier, even if I don't.
yeah. Well, hopefully that helps Slashy. And for anyone who's looking for a Dynasty League, the roles got one here. So jump in the chat, talk with him. I'm a little tapped out. Once I started making content, actually I joined a lot more leagues, unfortunately, but it's getting insane at this point. So yeah, I'm probably good for now. He Roll said he'd trade A Rich and the 108 for 101, which he spent on Caleb Williams. So you traded A Rich and 108 to get Caleb. I mean, I love Caleb Williams. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. I think when it comes to the process, I hear you guys speak up a lot about. I mean, these are two top tier quarterbacks. The points could actually favor A Rich, but I still believe it's close because of I'm just loving what I'm seeing for Caleb Williams. You getting the extra first. I don't know who that person ended up taking with the 108, but that may be the better side, 108 and A Rich. I think it probably is, and I think A Rich a lot of places was ranked ahead of Caleb in like startups. You know,
I last I looked on KTC, A
did it
Rich
flip?
was right around 11, I believe.
Okay.
And Caleb was right. Look, they were neck and neck, right?
Yeah.
A Rich, we're not lying if we say there's more risk involved with
He
A
said they
Rich
took
than
Penix for what it's worth.
okay. So they got Penix, and I like the Caleb. I don't know how many starters there are. Generally, I like to ask the formats.
Yeah.
Is this a PPC? Like, if there's some crazy quarterback juiced PPC scoring, then I might go, you know what, you might not have wanted to do that deal. But 108, Michael Penix, I don't believe that's too extravagant to give up, plus A Rich to get Caleb Williams. Because I'm with you, dude. I am all in on Caleb Williams. I
Yeah.
can't have enough of him. I think he's going to be an absolute monster. He's not going to put up, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts type rushing numbers, but there's no reason that he can't put up Deshaun Watson pre
Yeah.
Cal incident rushing numbers and be as good of a passer, if not better. I think, Deshaun Watson's been bad for a couple of years, or at least he hasn't played a lot of games. So people forget what Deshaun Watson, prime Deshaun Watson was. I think he could be a lot like him.
Yeah. So roll. It sounds like he's saying it's just standard. We'll say 2 QB. I'm in a lot of 2 QB, so got to start two. But either way, yeah, Caleb has the rushing. It's not like he doesn't have it. So since he has it, I'm just more in on him, and I think he just looks nasty, dude. Like, let's
It,
go. I want someone to just game break this for us and just give us this crazy season because he's stacked with all of these receivers around him. He's got everything he needs to be successful.
I'm fully expecting him to be a QB1 this year. If he
Let's
doesn't,
go.
I'm going to be disappointed. I will be
You're supposed to
disappointed.
save the hot take for the end. No, I don't think
That's
that's
a
a hot
hot
take.
take.
No, I'm playing. All right, man. All right, let's go to one of the other trades. Okay. Oh, God. Of
there,
course.
there you go.
Caleb Williams. We are just talking about this guy. So, looks like, you gave away Caleb Williams here. Is that correct? Okay, you
No.
got him.
Yeah, yep. I
Okay.
gave up
So,
Jaden Daniels, George Pickens in the third, and got Caleb back.
all right. So, roll. I hope that helps. That's almost similar. I mean, Jaden Daniels versus A Rich. Maybe they're similar. A Rich is probably higher value, but Pickens probably higher value than Michael Penix, and then you get the third. So that's basically value wise similar to what this guy gave, and
Yep.
he agrees with you. He said he'd go with the trade, take that Caleb side. Yeah, awesome. I don't know if we have to say too much about it, but this was 3 days ago. So yeah, you're standing on it right before the season. Caleb is your rookie of choice, and I
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
So I don't know how many leagues are you in right now?
I am in 20 leagues. I'm in all managed leagues.
Good.
I did the one I mentioned pre-show, the best ball one. That's literally my first best ball, and it's just in season. It's not in best ball dynasty.
I got you. So yeah, I
Even though I
mean,
am playing underdog.
there you go.
Plenty of that.
I'm in way more underdog tournaments this year than I was last year. It's not even close, bro. Not even close. And
Underdog, come call me.
so I don't know if you get this way, and you might. I look at my league, my rostership, and go, dude, I'm a little light on that dude. Or, I look at Caleb Williams and I looked at Jaden Daniels, and I'm like, I have 3 of Williams, I have 3 of Daniels. I'd rather go all in on one or the other. So I literally just sent out a bunch of trade offers trying to get Caleb Williams in a lot of leagues. And I think this might have been the only one that I actually pulled it off in. So,
yeah, you don't want to miss out on this right here, man. Because I'm hoping he can do what Mahomes couldn't and kind of sustain those huge seasons like that 50 TD season he had. Like Caleb hasn't even done it once, but Mahomes, he had all right. So Mahomes had 2 awesome weapons. So I'm not gonna do Kelsey and Tyreek versus what Caleb has, but I do think even the old Keenan Allen and I love DJ Moore as well as what they got with Roma Dunze. It's just they're set up and those tight ends like decent running backs. Come on now, so a good trade, man. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised though. I feel like a lot of times y'all on the show will talk about just go with the extra pieces there, but I love seeing some takes. Just Caleb Williams is going to crush,
so
and I think
just one of the things we've kind of talked about this summer is, I don't want to say fantasy is figured out, because it's not. There's always going to be, but I think a lot of people are in, or at least understand roster construction, process trades, and things like that. So there is some room for getting player takey, or at least making bets and having conviction on a player and just making a bet on that player. And that's where I'm at. I won't do it all the time. You know what I mean? You can't do this trade 3 times in one league, because then you're left with 4 starters and just studs and duds to the extreme, where you can't start a significant or a decent lineup. So, here and there, though, I think it's good to take a shot. I mean, it's not, take a little risk. You don't want to take all risk, but just taking a risk here and there.
Yeah, and those teams where, like, think of those teams, guys, where you're in a rebuilder and you spent maybe a couple of years rebuilding, and I've had myself in a spot. Ethan B is in a league with me, a couple, and I recently just went all in on Marvin Harrison Jr. Like my team was already so loaded. Like I'm not gonna break down my team. Like it was loaded. Just trust me. Like the team was already loaded. But I was like, let me get Marvin Harrison Jr. on this team. So I give away my 2 firsts in the future. Like I don't care about the future anymore. Like I had Malik Neighbors and Roma Dunze. I'm like, let me get Marv also on this team. I'm just gonna see what happens if I have these 3 guys for the next however many years. So like sometimes you just go all in. You don't do those left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Like
No,
Andy,
and
but yeah.
And that's part of, and people might think if it's the antithesis of what I usually preach, right? Process. But part of the process is accruing assets and then doing something with those assets. Like it's
Yeah.
not just to have those assets and go, guys, I have 6 firsts next year and 6 firsts the next year. And then I'm going to roll them over and have 6 firsts. Like at some point, I want to do something with those picks other than making rookie picks, I, that's why you get assets is so that you can make bets on players and not be completely destitute after you make those moves.
Yeah, and one of my rebuilds, maybe yeah, maybe in a couple. Like I feel like for years I've been great at not getting to the point where the roster cuts happen, and then I'm actually having to make significant cuts. But one of these leagues, I did get to that spot, and it just goes back to like make sure to do something with those picks before the whole league knows that you have to make that move. And really, with what you're saying at the top of that whole thing was be a little bit different. And one of the things your boy Scott had suggested to folks at one point was like listen to some college about game theory, and they're always talking about don't do the there is a dominant strategy, but you still have to think about how do you differentiate yourself in those ways. And you
Right.
were saying how look, the game's getting figured out. Like I'm making a podcast now, so like come on guys, we got to find a way to be different. But I love how next week we're actually going to get a bunch of new information on all of these players. And dude, this is going to shake up a lot. We had a little bit of a mini shake up here with the cuts and things of that nature. So we're not going to actually go through all of those cuts. I'm just curious, is there any, um, maybe even in a signing post cut that
Uh,
stood out to you? Um,
P
um,
Ryan, P Ryan, the KC baby.
yeah,
That's
I
that's
held on.
yeah. So there's a couple players, we all did it. I'm sure everyone that's in the sleeper leagues, their notifications were going bananas
Yeah.
yesterday and today, man. Because I was a culprit. But that you're going through and you're like, this dude's got no shot. He's he's a rookie running back that got cut. Probably not going to ever pan out to be anything. He's a rookie quarterback, Tanner Mordecai. Okay, you're
Yeah.
gone, bro. I'm not holding on to you. It's not happening. But Dante Foreman, I'm like, you're not getting cut. I'm holding on to you because someone's going to come knocking at some point, right? Samaj Piran didn't move him. I was like, nope, someone's going to grab him. And I forget what the chatter was before. I believe it was Cincinnati, actually, was the chatter that he might end up there. But this is even better.
Yeah,
He
for
ends up
him.
in
Yeah.
KC. So, yeah, that's a dude that signing turned out well.
Yeah.
Um,
RIP Deneric Prince and Amani Bailey.
And it's funny, man. Our day 3 running backs got absolutely slaughtered this year, bro. I just saw Ian Hartitz tweeted a meme out about that, man. But they got absolutely destroyed. And it usually takes a couple years for all the hopes and dreams for one day 3 draft class to get smashed. The NFL was just like, no, we are not doing this year. You're all gone. Carson Steele, I was excited that he made the team, but now that
Yeah.
Samaj P. Ryan's there, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think he might stay on as a fullback. There was rumors that was going to happen, and once they cut 2 running backs, I was like, oh no, he actually might get some playing time. But then they bring in P Ryan, so that's kind of rough.
That's it's disappointing. P. Ryan had to live, and he ended my Carson Steele hopes and dreams, but they
Slashy
probably
still
shouldn't have been
believes.
there. Yeah, and Carson, dude, the hair is wonderful. Um, look, every white running back we see, we're like, that's the next CMC. Every
Yeah.
one of them. We don't know who else to comp him to, but I
Yeah.
still like his hair. He's got beautiful hair.
I'm ready for Dylan Lobby to be CMC reincarnated.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just give me Danny Woodhead. If I could get Danny Woodhead, those 3 or 4 years he had when he was catching everything in sight,
Yeah.
that's really the lightning in the bottle. If we could ever hit that, he's
Yeah,
going to
dude.
steal the goal line TDs.
Um, I want to ask about one other one I thought may just not matter. Dalvin Cook, he's on the practice squad for the Dallas Cowboys. With the practice squad, you can be elevated 3 times before they have to really make that decision. So any game he could actually play, but just with how they're manipulating it, he was awful last year, guys. Unfortunately, he had 2 teams, the Jets and then the Ravens. It didn't go well, but reports are he was playing or recovering from his shoulder injury. Now my memory is foggy a little bit, but I could have sworn he was saying he was healthy last year when he was trying to get those jobs.
Yeah, but
So
now that he was bad at them, he was not healthy.
yeah,
He, Dalvin Cook, look, he had a great career, dude. Honestly, great career. That dude looked completely washed. And I understand that even if you're recovering from a shoulder injury, I don't understand how that would affect your vision, your cutting ability, your
yeah,
speed. Like, I know you didn't get to work out
yeah.
maybe fully, but I, Dalvin's done, man. That backfield is terrible. Him that goes to Zeke.
Yeah, it's the worst in the league. It was the worst before this, and this didn't like necessarily give me any confidence. So I was in the FFPC draft the day before roster cut, so Monday, and it was the final round, and I was like, "Yo, we should get P Ryan," and but we ended up, just getting Justin Fields, which again, obviously today, Justin Fields now officially the backup. But anyway, it's just so many guys where there was some hope, and I actually was telling my buddy like, I think P Ryan goes to the Cowboys. Like, we need somebody. I wasn't expecting Cook, but P Ryan easily had more juice last year, and I think they're both 29 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's
All right.
look, that's what happens, right? Running backs, they don't just burn out. They're fade away. Whichever ones they burn out. I don't know. Don't fade away. That's it. No. Whatever, when
Yeah.
you stay too long and you're bad, when you used to be good, that's what they do.
Yeah, washed, I think is the word or something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, yeah, not too much, the rosters, the guys that we're starting, we already got them on our team for the most part, guys. So this is more like for dynasty type of thing. But I will say only other one, we mentioned Noah Brown, but the only other one I thought maybe, and I'm curious your thoughts on Terrace Marshall Jr. Any chance now that he's with the San Francisco 49ers, he would be on the last year of his rookie deal, or I guess since he was cut, he's fair game now to do
Yeah.
whatever. But like if IU gets traded still, and Pearsall maybe banged up, I don't know. Is there any way to squint and Terrace Marshall needs to be on a roster?
No,
Oh,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Dude,
okay.
I've looked at it. This is one of my favorite things to do is every year just look up what the rookie wide receivers did, points per game. And then I saw that before. Someone said that. I forget where I was. Someone called him Cream Hunt. It's pretty funny. It's Carson Steele. But if rookie wide receivers are as bad as he was in his rookie season, they don't end up being viable fantasy assets.
Yeah,
Even in San Francisco, there's only so much they can do. They cannot make you a better football player. It's not meant to be. And Pearsall, that dude's shoulders are just made of china because apparently they're just never going
yeah,
to get better.
that's not good. Um, Oof. I only got him in maybe 2 leagues, but I hate to hear that.
Pearsall,
All right. Yeah, Pearsall, yeah.
I when he when the Ayuk chatter was super strong one of the times because it's been fairly strong all year, but when it really reached that fever pitch that he was going to move, so let me get a couple of Pearsall because maybe I can flip him later once Ayuk gets moved, and yeah, I'm still waiting for Ayuk to get moved,
Oof.
so that
Yeah.
did not work out for me.
All right. Well, yeah, so that's it for the cuts, guys. And before we get too deep into some your Eagles talk, I wanted to just see, we talked about one of the tools already. Any other tools Destination Devy's working on you guys want to talk about, or just anything, even if it's related to what you guys got going on for the season, and what people should be checking out over there?
Yeah, I mean they've got the War Machine, right? And this is all the smart people that do this stuff. I don't do the tool stuff, right? I just know how to use them, and I'm told what they do. But yeah, War obviously wins over replacement. That's a tool that helps you during startups. Um, you can use that tool pretty much for anything. You could also look at it when you're doing trades because sometimes people get caught up in the name versus the
Yeah.
actual value or production value of a player. And if you just take the names out of it and look at the production, plug them into the War Machine and see, oh, wait, there's really not a difference. Maybe I should just do this deal. Um, Dynasty Daddy exclusive to Destination. It's hard for me. DD Fantasy
Oh,
for the
yeah.
year, exclusive. Jeremy is a wizard. You spoke to him. That dude just keeps adding new things to Dynasty Daddy. It's one of my favorite sites in the world. Like not even
Yeah.
just fantasy football related. I probably visit that more than any site that I go to, whether it's looking at for trade data, the trade calculator, the database, the mock drafts. Just I'm excited to see what Jeremy does, to be honest with you. And then content, we're just going to be knocking it out of the box, man. Like we've got a lot of stuff planned. I don't want to speak out of turn. Scott's the director of content, so push
Yeah.
his button, see what he's going to tell you. What we're really going to be focused on, though, is our Discord patrons and giving them a lot of exclusive content. So it's going to be a fun year.
Yeah. So, guys, if you want some exclusive content, go sign up to be a patron with DD Fantasy. All right. So I need to correct that too. But anyway, yeah, absolutely love to hear that. I don't know what you guys are doing on my show. Like y'all are busy, but I was like, let me just squeeze it in right before the season because this is going to be an absolute nightmare
Dude,
show.
I love coming on and being a guest. I don't have to do a show sheet. I don't have to think of anything. I just come on and answer questions.
Yeah. See, I just fixed the title right there. DD Fantasy. All right.
Boom.
Love it. Okay. So, man, so I have been having people do some hot takes, but really, man, I'm curious because look, NFCs, there's never been like a repeat championship since whatever it is 2016, 2012, whatever the date is. It won't be the Cowboys, and it's more obvious than ever. If the Washington team, it's not them, and it ain't the other team. So what is going to happen this season with the Eagles? It wasn't too long ago they were in the Super Bowl. Are they the number one offense? I've had one guest say the Rams are the number one offense. How do you who just but whether they are or not? How do you feel about the Eagles this year?
So I would say, assuming health, San Francisco. With
Okay,
CMC, George Kittle, Debo, and Ayuk. And obviously, I'm an Eagles fan. You hear my accent. I can't hide that. I think the Eagles are right up there, though, with them. You know what? The Eagles might be better than them, come to think of it. Now that I'm just thinking of this through, right? Jalen Hurts. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's the Eagles. How do you have a better offense? Just think about that. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Dallas Goedert's kind of mid. Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts is really the differentiator, right? Like there's not many quarterbacks like him in the
exactly.
league. Josh Allen is the only other one that comes to mind. Lamar Jackson. There's very few quarterbacks that can single-handedly take over a game, whether that's running or passing. There's always an out for him. Like if the passing game's not working that day, you know what? We're going to use our feet this week. And I'm actually excited to see less tush pushes because that stifles the offense, man. That is stifling.
Yeah, especially because the teams do know when it's coming, and it's kind of a common thing that you do want to keep the other team guessing. It's like when you only have a thumper running back. You know that when Derrick Henry's in, like he's running the ball. Like you want to have some sort of mixing it up. So you got former Cowboys OC there. I forgot his name on
Kellen Moore.
purpose. Kellen Moore. Uh, I'm a Cowboys guy, by the way, if you didn't know. Anyway, yeah. So I think this team's going to be awesome, man. With Barkley, like first of all, people are saying that Josh Allen's a top quarterback. Jalen Hurts has outdone him basically every step of the way. And fantasy wise, Eagles, I think, just have every position locked up. They're not using Goddard, so maybe not tight end, but they don't have to use him.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like Goddard could probably put up much better numbers on a different offense, but if AJ Brown and Devonta Smith, they should be seeing nearly 60% of your targets. You know what I mean? Like Goddard should be the third wheel, and it should be significantly lesser than what those wide receivers are getting. So sorry, Goddard.
Yeah. All right. How about Barkley specifically, though? Running back ranking, where do you have him at? Is he top 5?
No.
Does he make? Okay, he doesn't make top 5. How do you feel about where's he slide in? He's got to be top 10.
I'll give him top 10. Yeah, I think he's probably closer to 15 points a week, obviously, than 17 or 20 points a week. He's not going to be elite, but I think he'll be very good. especially
Okay.
considering some of the years that he's had that have been disappointment over the last couple of years. He's truly only had one elite season. People might get mad at me for that, but he's truly only had like one elite season. I didn't love the signing. I'm not even going to lie to you. I wasn't a giant fan of it just because his underlying analytics aren't great. They just aren't. He hasn't been a good running back. Now, it's hard to divorce that from how bad the Giants' offensive line
Yeah.
was, though, right? Like, you
Yeah.
don't operate in a vacuum. It's easy to be like, oh, well, based on this, everything works in conjunction. He was on a bad offense with a bad offensive line. So it is hard to just divorce it from that. But I still can't wrap my head around like it wasn't all his fault, or, how much was his fault and
Yeah.
how much was the offense's fault.
Yeah, because even if you want to say, not you, but somebody wants to say he was still injury prone, like Kadarius Toney stepped on his ankle randomly, and that guy, like, come on now, like he's just had a lot of bad situation and luck.
Yes.
The talent is there. I still think he's talent wise like one of the top backs in the league. So I'm in on Barkley. I'm in on Jalen Hurts. I think you still got to stay all in on AJ Brown.
Yes.
With the Puka Nacua injury, do you vault AJ Brown ahead of him for this season?
For this season, yes.
Okay.
But there's Philadelphia bias there.
Yeah, but he's on the wall. I had to ask, and that's where he's going. He's going back to back with Puka Nacua in drafts. So
Yeah.
it's
I
really
mean,
just who you want.
well, and also like why even if you have the choice, why take the guy that there's a risk of injury, or I don't
Yeah.
want to say a risk of injury. There's that cloud right now because he was injured 3 weeks ago or whatever, and then I think it was today or yesterday. Greg Cosell was on Twitter, or he wasn't on Twitter, but the tweet went out where like he's like intimating that something's wrong with Puka that they're not talking about. It's
Uh-oh.
like, do I think something's wrong with him? No, but just in case for redraft, let me just grab Brown
Yeah.
because I know right now nothing's wrong with him. Knock on wood.
Yeah. They're trying to keep him guessing for week one. And I'll just say, since we didn't really mention Smitty, I mean, how do you feel about Devonta Smith in terms of when you get past maybe not even all of the quote unquote wide receiver ones on their teams? At what point do you take Devonta Smith? I think a lot of people take him ahead of some other wide receiver ones, like obviously like a Cortland Sutton. Smith is going way ahead of him.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, where, so I stopped sleeping on Devonta Smith because that was a mistake because he's awesome. So where do we
I,
take him?
I, and he's a wide receiver too. You know,
Yeah.
he's somewhere in that. Like he has it in him to be a high end wide receiver too. But to me, he's just a mid wide receiver too. Yes, obviously, I'll take him over Cortland Sutton. I'll take him over Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
Obviously, anyone on New England, I have no idea who their wide receiver one is. All three of their starting wide receivers,
Yeah.
I'll take him over.
Just
Just
combine them.
to combine whatever stats they have, he will do better. I like Smith, but he just, he's gonna be Lil Bro. Like it's
Yeah.
just how it is. You got a true alpha on your roster, and AJ Brown. It's hard to surpass that dude. It just is. Maybe if he was in a different situation, but he's not. So he's always going to be Lil Bro there. I think you could count on him for anywhere from 1050 to like 1200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 80 receptions. It's very good production. It's just, I don't think
Yeah.
he'll ever be in that elite tier unless, knock on wood again, don't let it happen. Something were to happen to AJ Brown.
Yeah. And AJ Brown's like a very solid, like kind of a rare wide receiver, just very big, like
Yeah.
it's pretty durable. So yeah, man. Let's start wrapping things up. I wanted to remind everybody we got a jersey giveaway. Just subscribe to the channel and you get a jersey in your size, whatever player you like. We're gonna do that announcement right before the start of the season next week. So I'm excited for that. And Shane, I was trying to see if you might have one more hot take for me to give at the end of the show. But first, I was going to see if you could give people an idea of where to find you and anything else you want to let the people know about.
Yeah, I mean, just Shane is the worst on Twitter. I usually tweet out everything that I'm doing, not everything in life. Dynasty Trades in 5 on Tuesdays. Shane says I dropped that. That's on the Destination, the DD Fantasy
Yeah.
YouTube. I dropped that. My son's looking at me because I pay him to edit TikTok reels for me, and I haven't put
There
an
we go.
episode out.
Teach them young.
this will be the second week in a row I don't put it out. So he's like, "Where's the money?" But I also do that. Generally, that drops on Friday. Yeah, it's like, "You better do a show this week." I'm like, "I don't know what to talk about. Leave me alone."
Got a manager there now. Okay.
Yep. But yeah, no, just you can find me at DD Fantasy. You can find me at Dynasty Trades at 5. And if you're not sure, just look for Shane is the worst on Twitter. And I'll be tweeting out stuff that I'm doing. I mean, I already gave you a baby hot take, I guess, Caleb.
Wait. Let me outro, and then really, I don't even need any background on it. You can just drop the heat, and then we'll hit the outro for the video. But I wanted to let everybody know. Appreciate you guys for watching. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty FK. My wife actually had our son do an intro for her show and suggested I have him do mine. So hey, who knows? Maybe that'll happen at some point in the future. But again, man, guys, we got a new schedule coming out. I'm going to be doing shows for the waiver wire, for start sits, and some Q&A on Sundays. So look out for that. And man, good luck to everybody. We've been waiting this whole time for this season, and it's finally here. So Shane, lay it on us. Give us a little hot take to send us home.
Caleb Williams, QB 6 this year.